All right, live here from the Starbucks. And make sure my stuff is ready. My pings is up. Live here. Live from my local Starbucks. I want to know who has a better internet service. Spectrum likes to go down the least expected. So, what's going on, Howard? Live over here from Starbucks. I got a good show this morning. Got to be consistent. I want to get you guys the information. I am Taibu Mu'addib. I am your host. I am a podcaster and a certified goal achievement coach. And what's important about that is all of you should know that I'm good at what I do. I'm serious about what I do. I mean well. I've been in business for a long, long time for myself. Started back in 2009 doing fitness and having a good time doing it. I just want to make sure you guys get this morning show. I'm doing some pro bono stuff in the evenings now. Again, if you don't see me online, if you don't see me podcasting, I'm helping someone. All right. That's what I do. And I'm proud to do it. First Step Coaching is powered by Heavenly Bodies. The company started in 2009 back in Madison, Wisconsin. And I'm proud to live in Arlington, Texas, and to continue the tradition of getting people in shape today. Now I get them in shape mentally, emotionally, and physically. All right. So if you want to be a part of my coaching community, all you have to do is go to YouTube and subscribe. Taibu Mu'addib 4019. Click making a subscription. All right. This morning, I put this show on YouTube, and I want you guys to know that African men in America can now rejoice, overjoyed at the advent of Guard Me Gear. What is Guard Me Gear? Well, Guard Me Gear is a security tech wearable. It's technology that will give everyone a response. That's what GEAR stands for. Give everyone a response. Right? We want to have the right kind of coverage on people. So if you don't know the story of this young man, I'm going to hook you up. So there was a young man that had to deal with a situation, and to be honest with you, this kind of is what it is. But for the most part, being falsely accused of something is never a good thing. Never a good thing. But what if being falsely accused of something leads to years and years and years and years and years of you being incarcerated? What if that's the case? No one wants to see that happen. But that's the case for one young man. He spent a long time in prison because he was falsely accused of a sexual assault. So we're going to look at the North Carolina man that was cleared by DNA evidence after 44 years in prison. All right. Bear with me. I have to get the sound quality right, but I have to utilize my best efforts at, sorry about that, my best efforts. What's going on, Queen? Appreciate you for wanting to join. Thank you. So we're doing the best I can to get my equipment together. Equipment's kind of funny, but I want you guys to see this. I want you guys to know that this is a huge problem for a particular cultural group here in America. So a big problem with being African in America is the judicial system works against you and not for you. All right, there. Hopefully that works. So that being the case, judicial works against you. So I want to look at I want to put some names to this. Because I actually put a name up there. Let me go and make sure that I have the right name. So, okay. So when you think about it, people who are falsely accused of a certain situation, you end up in a situation where that individual does a lot of time, and you look at it, and we're looking at just in the basic sense. Ronnie Long. All right, there it is. I had to get the name out. Ronnie Long, the man that was convicted. Let's look into his life. Let's look that up, because I just got individuals at random on here, I guess. I didn't do a good job of that. So let me look at this. All right. I'm gonna X this out so I can get you guys the real deal. Let's look at the life of Ronnie Long, shall we? Ronnie Long was convicted and then cleared after 40. Okay, so that is his name. Great. Great. Ronnie Long. So he spent 44 years in prison after a wrongful conviction and was awarded a $25 million settlement. And you have to ask yourself, would you go do 44 years in prison for someone because someone committed that crime just to get $25 million at the end? 44 years. So depending on when you start, that's a lifetime. That's a lifetime. That man did a lifetime in prison for a crime he didn't commit. So Ronnie Long and the rest of us African men in America are rejoicing over the advent of Garden Gear. The reason being is that once we hit our donation goal of 150,000 at Garden Gear LLC, that's the name of the company, Garden Gear LLC. We're going to guard you guys. And we get these devices out there to market so you guys can purchase them and wear them. A man like Ronnie Long or myself cannot be convicted. We can be charged and arrested, but we can't be convicted of a sexual offense because we will be GPS located somewhere else. And even if a person, like in Tupac's case, says, I was there, because I have the Guard Me gear on, that person will be asked, okay, did you know that they had the Guard Me gear on? Because most Guard Me gear wearers will have on some kind of Guard Me gear branding, be it a hat, a cap, something will say Guard Me gear. So they'll ask that person, did you not? Because Guard Me gear people hopefully will be seen as people that are against domestic and sexual violence. We don't want to be offended, and we shall not offend, right? But the Guard Me gear offers opportunity because now this person can be asked, this person was at the party, but did you know they wear the Guard Me gear? Oh, no, I didn't. So you didn't see their cap that said G.M.G on it. You didn't see their shirt or the button they had that said G.M.G. They didn't discuss that with you. Do you know them very well? Okay, if you know them well, did you know that they had purchased it? Well, most folks that purchase it talk to their friends and family about it because they're trained to do so. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to convict the person with the Guard Me gear security personal tech wearable because this person is more, and generally usually people that wear Guard Me gear are CRs themselves, certified responders themselves. They go through the class and train. That's the part of it. So this man Ronnie Long, and I'll go ahead and screen share it so you guys can see it over here on YouTube. The man Ronnie Long, you have to look at his life that was taken from him. All right. So let's see a little bit more. Lawsuit. Look into the news about him on Wikipedia. I just want to see the details of the case. All right. Let's look at the details of the case. All right. Wrongfully convicted. Who is Ronnie Long? Ronnie Long is an African man, a black man, if you will, who was accused of raping a 54-year-old white woman and convicted by an all-white jury of rape and burglary. All right. So I would just like to look into the details of the case if we can, if they give it to us, because I believe that this would be a situation. See if we can get the details of the case. Stop sharing that so I can get that right page. Details of the case. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I can get the details of the case for you guys. Right. Let's see. All right. Videos of Ronnie Long, details of the case. I'm gonna do the right thing to get this in here. Ronnie Long. Let's go. I'm just gonna get you guys. All right. Let's go here. I'm gonna go here and give you guys this screen share. I'm gonna stop the screen share on the one end and give you guys something else. All right. Let me go ahead and share this screen so you guys can get this video. Go to YouTube at Taibu Mu'addib 4019 to see this I'm giving you guys today. All right. From Arlington, Texas. Let's look at it.
Proving his innocence, is now fighting for what he calls some sense of justice. Ronnie Long finally got compensation from the state for the 44 years he spent behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. But Long says the money he got isn't nearly enough, and his attorney agrees, saying the amount is based on an old law that doesn't make sense in this case. The defender's Michelle Bowden talked exclusively with Long about his next steps.
In all the times we've interviewed Ronnie Long, rarely have I heard.
Initially, they gave him $750,000 from an old law that you get a lump sum and that's it, no matter how long we keep you locked up. Right. So he had to. So they tried to just give him some money, $750,000, and shut up and go away. And so he said that's not enough. So this is about more about his civil suit and his criminal situation. I wanna look at the details of his criminal case, because what I'm aiming to prove here today to you guys is that had he been wearing the Guard Me gear security tech wearable, which you want to get for your sons, your dads, your uncles. You want to have all African men in America should have this on. I'm a dude, a guy that was jogging. I can bring him up. If he had the Guard Me gear, he'd be alive today. So many cases. I'm telling you right now, I'm apologizing for, as soon as I had a good lead on how I could get this done, for not doing this sooner. Because a lot of people since 2016 would be alive today had I really pushed really hard. So I apologize to the families of the victims, victimized since then, all the women and young children, but I'm on it now. So join me in the fight to get the Guard Me gear. Donate. I'm just simply asking for $5 per person on the GoFundMe page, and then just to share the conversation with somebody else. So I'm asking for it. We'll get there. We'll get it done. All right. So let's see if we can find just something to talk about that talks about. I don't want to hear other folks talking about it. I want to know what's going on with the case. Who testified against him? Let's go. Just want to see. There's a lot on here on Ronnie Long. So if you look it up yourself, you'll see a lot. But just want to see. Just want to see if we can get there.
About their ongoing legal fight 4 decades later.
To beat a woman, to rape a woman, and to take full advantage of a female. I think you're less than a man. And any man that do that, any man that's in here, they come in here right now, it's in there for that. I'll tell them in their face, you scum.
In the 41 years Ronnie Wallace Long has been incarcerated in the state of North Carolina, he's maintained his innocence. He was convicted in 1976 of burglary and rape and sentenced to life behind bars.
So he was convicted of burglary and rape, right? And sentenced to given 2 life sentences behind bars. So never get out.
You raped that woman.
No, I didn't.
I sat down with Long at Lanesboro Correctional Institution. He's in a protracted legal battle trying to get access to evidence he believes will prove his innocence.
What happened to all this evidence? Don't nobody know.
In late April 1976, a white woman, the widow of a prominent Cannon Mills executive, was brutally attacked and raped in her Concord home. Several days later, on May 10th, she picked out Long as her attacker.
Yep.
Okay. There it is, the details of the case. So a prominent widow of a prominent figure, and this is North Carolina, was brutally attacked and raped. She later picked out Ronnie Long from a lineup. So this is what the guard we gear will immediately nip in the bud. People picking people out of lineups and having and just all this. And then you have just the culturally biased judicial system and all the cultural constructs we have in our mind against each other, stereotypes we have in our mind. It's terrible. So 4 decades later, because of DNA evidence, he's exonerated. I can only imagine, and look, we know with certainty that there are hundreds of thousands of people wrongfully convicted of crimes like this, incarcerated right now. So if you look like me, if your family resembles who I am, even in the mixed in swirly sense, you have to put the guard me gear device on an African. Just rejoice, brothers, rejoice. The guard me gear is going to free us from violence by the police and false accusations. Let's go.
Me a 7-year plea for a guilty plea. 7 years. I'll be back home in 3 years. My dad looked at me and told me, say, ain't no way anywhere. I didn't raise y'all to admit that y'all did something when you didn't do it. So I didn't take the plea. I went to trial.
His arrest polarized the community. Violence broke out in Concord when an all-white jury convicted Long largely on the victim's eyewitness ID. Police collected and tested a long list of evidence which was not made available to Long at trial.
The evidence in the case that resulted in his conviction is just absent, really.
Jamie Lau of the Wrongful Convictions Clinic at Duke University now represents Long.
So African men can now rejoice because no one can just point you out and say on this day, because remember, she pointed him out in the lineup 3 days after she was brutally attacked. So this is not to say that she wasn't attacked by an African man, but it's to say that she wasn't attacked by Mr. Ronnie Long. And 3 days later, a week later, we know how these things go. The pressure to solve a crime on police departments then and now. You can get swooped up for looking like me and not having the financial means or political power to defend yourself. So the guard me gear, just hashtag G.M.G. We're liberating women, children, African men of color. It's gonna be a lot. I'm telling you guys, the Guard Me gear, once properly funded, is going to change the way we socialize with each other. So we appreciate. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing this right here and get back to it. But I'm telling you right now, I just wanted you guys to know the Guard Me gear is here. It's real. Um, this is something that I believe in. I want you guys and gals to believe in it too. I want you to help me deal with this by just donating. A $5 donation is all I really want you guys to and gals to look at. A $5 donation and just to share the conversation with someone else. So what do you say to me? Well, have you heard about the Guard Me gear? So a guy online, Taibu Mu'addib, he's got this device he wants to get manufactured and help us and help it to market, help it to stores. So we can buy it and throw our children and our wives and our brothers. We want to stop domestic and sexual violence. We want to stop abduction. We want to stop false reportings and false convictions. We want to stop police brutality. All these things can be stopped if we just put $5 in a piece. When he reaches his goal, if I need more, I'll put another GoFundMe page up for more. But the $150,000 is going to get it redesigned after being manufactured, prototype manufactured, tested, initially redesigned. It will get it market ready. If we need more money as a startup to get it out there to help push it to you guys, fine. We'll deal with that when it comes. But to get it ready to get to you in your hand, that's the estimated amount. So let's get to that 150,000 mark. Let's get there ASAP. All right. In other news, let's go. What else do we got today? So let's look at this right here. So Guard Me gear, African men rejoice. We have a lot to be thankful for. We're going to get that going. All right. Now, this morning I woke up and I can't say shocked, but this morning I woke up and I looked and I saw some of the news and it kind of like, what's going on with this? So we have to know the laws that are coming out. So here in Texas, they passed a law. I don't know. Without the news, how do we know when laws are passed? We go sit in the Capitol building. You gotta get to the bottom of this. But the news reports that there was a law that Texas tried to pass to ban books that were sexual in nature, or had sexual stuff content. So the courts, the federal courts, blocked it. All right. So let's look at this real quick. Remember, inspiration and information. So I inspired you guys with the Guard Me gears out there. Go donate, go donate, go donate. All right. And then over here, but now let's get information. So the Texas book ban. So let's look at this. Get the screen share going. If you cannot see the screen share over here on YouTube, go and subscribe. Taibu Mu'addib 4019. Get it done. All right. So right here in front of us, it says a federal court of appeals on Wednesday blocked the Texas law that would require ratings from booksellers that deal with school libraries to make sure that it doesn't have sexual content. So for school libraries, public school libraries, right? U.S. Appeals Court blocks Texas law that can ban or restrict books in public schools. All right. Now, what's important to note about this is there are federal laws that prohibit public schools from treating students a certain way based on their gender identification. Right? So you gotta know, you gotta see what's going on with this. All right. Let's look into this. All right. So if we dig a little bit deeper, And remember, Texas wanted to have block abortions. Texas is trying to roll the script back. All right. So, a federal court appeals court is blocking the controversial Texas law aimed at keeping obscene books out of school libraries. The Fifth Circuit Court sided with the Austin-based bookstore Book People, who sued them instead of taking effect. All right. Passed the bill last year, so we didn't even know it. Did you know it? I didn't know it. It bans books from school libraries that are deemed vulgar, sexually explicit, or educationally unsuitable. Let's stop sharing that for a minute. Let's go to the next one. Right? So this is what Texas is trying to do to protect the minds of the young in public schools. Let's go to the other one. What are the current federal laws on sexuality in public schools? Right? So have you heard of Title IX? I don't know. Title IX. Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 prohibits sex discrimination in any education program or activity receiving federal assistance. All right. So, under Title IX, the LGBTQ community says you can't discriminate. So, way back before I was born, Title IX was already out. It prohibits sex discrimination in any education program that receives federal financial assistance. That's deep. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. So before I was even born, Title IX. So LGBTQ community is under Title IX has pushed a movement now to where boys can dress as girls, girls can dress as boys can say that they're girls, and you have to say they are girls. So if I enroll my son but want you to call him Nancy, then you have to call him Nancy, and I can dress him as a girl. Under Title IX, I can do all this, and the teachers and schools have to respect it, even here in Texas. So I don't know, without Texas dealing with that situation, I'm sorry, I didn't screen share it for you guys. Let me screen share that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we watch the show over here on YouTube, and you do go and subscribe, like you all should. Go over and subscribe so you can see it. A-Rab really crazy on this show. All right. So you can see it. All right. So right here. So protections against gender discrimination. So this is why voting is important. This is why knowing the laws and being a part of your political process is important, people. You got to be involved. You got to have the information. So Texas is saying we don't want books about sex that are obscene and vulgar in our schools. But we are willing to accept, we're not going to deal with the Title IX amendment. We're not going to try to amend Title IX. We're not going to fight Title IX. Texas, you have to fight Title IX. Otherwise, parents have the right to homeschool, which is happening a lot now. If I send my son to school and he's like, comes back home like that, I know it was a boy, but he was dressed like a girl and this and that, and every time we had to call this boy a girl, I know what to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not obscene. That's not vulgar. It's all about opinion, but it's protected. It's protected. So a book that has, sexual stuff in it can't be in public schools. It's a mismatch. I think Texas missed the mark. If you don't want things that can be seen, can be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if we're talking about this legitimately by the legislature, Texas wanted to pass the law to ban what they consider, and I'll quote it again. Texas is saying that They don't want books that are deemed to be vulgar, sexually explicit, or educational unsuitable. So if you're a heterosexual household and you send your heterosexual-minded kids to school, and the federal law says you can't discriminate based on gender, and now people can identify their kids or kids can identify themselves as the opposite gender. Does that create an educational suitable environment? I don't know. Having bathrooms put in place so that they can go in these restrooms and don't have to be considered one thing or another, they can have their own safe space. What are we doing here? So I just think Texas missed the mark. I'm all for people having the right to do what they want to do with their personal lives. All for that. I support the LGBTQ community. I don't think people should bash them or be against them or at all, any kind of way. People should have the right to make decisions that they want to make. In America, privacy is important. But if it's a private thing, should we be keeping it private? Once you make it public, you open yourself to public opinion. And I don't believe that the government should be involved in people expressing their public opinion about things that people are doing in private, bringing out in public, right? If you're a dominatrix, you do that in private. You know, you don't go to your day job in your dominatrix outfit. Oh, I got an appointment in 15 minutes. I'm already be dressed. You know, there's things that people are doing in private still to this day that the public would have an opinion about, and it might be an adverse opinion. So I just think Texas missed the mark on that. If you don't want things that could be deemed vulgar, sexually explicit, or uneducatable in the school system, you have to look at the Title IX in Texas first. Look at what protections are necessary. If you want to protect the minds of kids about sex, period, then are we looking at, okay, you can gender nonconform publicly in our schools after a certain age when we all believe that the children can process it. You know, elementary schools and middle schools, nah. High school, the kids can process that, sure. Let them come and be who they're going to be. So that the Title IX is what needed to be amended in Texas, not just trying to say the books. The books have nothing to do with it. It's who's at school, what they're doing at school. Like, what do we put on our teachers? Okay, and I know a few teachers. Shout out to my man Jamon, he came on the show. I know a few teachers. So I've gone over my time. I hope you guys understand the points that I've made. Guard Me gear is for everyone. It's not just for women and children. It can save lives. It can save men from being convicted, wrongfully accused and convicted. And just look, to let you guys know, I don't play any games. I do my research. Let's look up real quick. Let's look at the percentage of it, right? So a large number of acts. So rape is a highly unreported crime. The vast majority of women that deal with sexual assaults, women, I'm saying women right now, that deal with sexual assaults are not reported. And that's the sad thing about this situation. That's what we're going to deal with right now. Put the Guard Me gear. So donate today. But there are a lot of women that make false allegations against me. I myself have had it happen to me multiple times throughout my life. Not a whole bunch, but once is enough to go through something like that. So in college, as a college athlete can become a target for women that want fame or just want to be noticed. And they'll use rape or sexual assault allegations as a way to up their status. And that's exactly what happened to me at Indiana State University. It jammed up my college football career, the coaching staff, and everybody because, yes, I'm African American. But what happened was the administrative faculty realized that the allegations were patently false. Patently false. So they kicked it down. But they allowed this student to stay at the school, and for the next year and a half until the school found out that she had went to a different school, and other girls that she got into it with at the university found out that she had made the same allegation at a different school and reported her. Not for my benefit, but reported her because they didn't like her. Because you can't lie and say you didn't go to college if you did. So she got eventually put out of school because she lied about not attending a different university. But until that happened, she spent the whole rest of the year and a half, from what I heard, crying in hallways when I would walk by. Stuff I didn't find out until after she was had got kicked out of school. So for a year and a half, I was the victim, and I was being victimized by a woman who was getting clout by saying that football player tried to rape me. Serious. All my friends and family that didn't know that this is something that happened as far as my football career. I was one of the best. The second university, that's what happened. Met her immediately, and the thing was, she'd already been there, so she thought I was a freshman because I was new to campus, but I wasn't. So she said she met me at a freshman soiree, but I wasn't a freshman. I was a transfer sophomore. That was the first line, but I made a bunch of other lies that she had told. But so many people gathered around her, and then she joined like the dancing team that does pom-poms at the football games. I'm talking about stalked. So the Guard Me gear will take care of a lot of this stuff. And with respect to her situation, she may have actually been molested as a young girl and just felt like getting all men back or some men back or whatever. But there's false reporting. Let's look at it. Let's look at the statistics. All right. I'm going to go ahead and screen share this for you guys to see it. Because I want you to know that some people use falsely reporting sexual violence as a way to gain clout. There's a lady, I'm gonna look it up. There's a lady that did a whole book and became rich off books about being sexually assaulted, and it was all a lie. I'm gonna look that up and get that to you guys next week if I can find it. All right. Before I go, let's look at the truth of the matter. The majority of sexual assaults, an estimated 63%, are never reported. 63% of sexual assaults are never reported. You guys understand what I'm saying? We need Guard Me gear. Donate today. All right. And if you don't see the link in my descriptions and in my posts, it's definitely in this description. Then inbox me immediately. If you want to donate, be part of the movement, DM me immediately, and I will reach out to you. The prevalence of false reporting cases of sexual violence is low. Yet when survivors come forward, many face scrutiny or encounter barriers. For example, when an assault is reported, survivors may feel that their victimization has been redefined and even distorted by those who investigate, process, and categorize cases. This is why our certified responders are necessary, because after a child or a woman, especially children and women, men too, we need advocacy too. But when children and women report something immediately, activate the Guard Me gear. You want someone that's trained to empathize with what you're going through and help you through the process. So the Guard Me gear provides certified responders, called CR, certified responders, right away who are trained to empathize with what you're going through after they get you into a safe situation. Right? Sexual assault victims commonly struggle with a range of emotion, make it difficult for them to report or disclose abuse. Right? keep going. Okay. An unfounded report is a case that is investigated. Unfounded classification is often confused with false allegations, in part because the definition may seem similar. All right. So what am I missing? A false report is a reported crime to a law enforcement agency that an investigation factually proves never occurred, like my situation. Factually, it just never happened. All right. A baseless report is one in which it is determined the incident does not meet the elements of a crime, but is presumed to be truthful. So there's different degrees of reportings, right? And that sucks because we want to take care of our people, all right? But there are false reports made. People falsely report these. And it's sad, but it happens. So look that up for yourself. Do the research. Sexual and domestic violence are serious issues. I've experienced them all my life. I was almost born into domestic violence as a child. All right. Almost born into it. What I want to say is that the guard me gear is a big deal. I'm going to scream and yell about it until we meet our financial goal. That's just my job right now. I podcast. I want to inspire you and motivate you with my smile, my candor. I want to coach you guys that need coaching. At the end of the day, I want you to donate. I want you to be successful in life. I want you to get the coaching that you need, if not from me, from somewhere. Remember, if you've already given up or are having trouble with your resolution for the new year, whether it be financial, relationship, physical, fitness, if you're struggling with that, I want to be your coach, all right? Go to my page, DM me, I'll get you a link to my EFC workbook. You can get started, look at your own pace, and we'll give you the opportunity to reach out to me and say, hey, I'm raising my hand. I need some assistance. And I got you. It's Taibu Mu'addib, First Step Coaching, powered by Heavenly Bodies. And I appreciate you guys for joining me. Catch me tomorrow morning at 8:05 a.m., hopefully 8:05 a.m. And we'll discuss more about the guard me gear. We'll continue to discuss some things. We got manhood 101. We're going to continue to discuss sexuality and heterosexual manhood and all this stuff. Our young folks need to know what's real, what's right, what's true, and what's productive and safe in our community. Taibu Mu'addib, thank you. And that's the show. Now you know. Oops.
Okay, so it's not charging.
I always give y'all some extra. Today, I want to look at safety. What are your strategies for being safe? How do you what's your self-care like? Self-care and safety. Think about these two things. They're important for you and your family. Taibu Mu'addib, that's the show.